So, folks, we're diving into some high stakes nuclear diplomacy today. In particular, the recent strong words coming from Israel about Iran's enriched uranium.
Yep, right. So Netanyahu's saying that all enriched uranium has to leave Iran and that there should be no more enrichment capability at all. Correct?
Exactly. And he's pushing this as a major non negotiable point in any nuclear deal with Tehran. He insists that Iran must completely abandon its enriched uranium. It's like drawing a very clear line in the sand.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty tough. But ironically, isn't it kind of contentious? I mean, isn't nuclear enrichment a right under the NPT? I get that Israel sees it as a threat, but wouldn't this demand potentially derail a precarious balance?
I see what you mean, and that's a fair critique. Netanyahu's stance is that letting any enrichment capability linger is simply too risky, a potential stepping stone towards a nuclear weapon, which would, destabilize the region even further.
Yep, and while his insistence on zero enrichment is clear, Iran, on the other hand, views that as a red line, a violation of its rights under the Non-Proliferation Treaty. It's a tough negotiation point, right?
Absolutely. It's a classic case of security versus sovereignty. Meanwhile, we see both sides gearing up. Iranian officials hint at compromises like diluting their 60% enriched material, but still, the idea of zero enrichment remains off the table for them.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the added layer of the U.S. Its military presence is ramping up in the region with not one but two aircraft carriers, sending a pretty unmistakable signal of pressure on Iran.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. On one end, you have diplomatic negotiations moving forward with talks slated in Switzerland, and on the other, the very real threat of military escalation. It's all intertwined with broader regional security concerns, including issues like ballistic missiles and proxy support.
Yep, I get that the security of Israel and indeed the world is at stake. But don't you think tying nuclear negotiations too tightly with military posturing might, push Tehran into an even more defensive stance?
That's a valid point, and I respect that view. However, from Netanyahu's perspective, the rigid demands are meant to ensure lasting security rather than a temporary fix. He sees the enrichment issue as the heart of the problem, with every other security measure, like missile developments or proxy activities, building on top of that.
Yeah, it's a tough intersection of diplomacy and hardline security measures. And if you consider that the U.S. is also showing mixed signals, preferring diplomacy but simultaneously boosting military capabilities, the stakes get even higher.
Exactly. It's like walking a tightrope. One slip could lead to a significant regional or even global fallout. The upcoming talks in Switzerland are going to be critical in trying to balance these competing pressures.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we'll have to see if a middle ground can be found that satisfies both the rigorous security demands and the practical negotiations needed to de-escalate tensions.
Yep, it's a complex puzzle, and every piece, from uranium enrichment to missile programs, must fit perfectly for any lasting, secure deal. Let's keep our eyes on how these negotiations evolve. It's sure to be a fascinating, albeit tense process.
Totally agree.